There's a little company out there known as UFO Interactive. I played one of their games recently, downloadable title in the eShop for the Nintendo 3DS called Zombie Slayer Deox. This is called Johnny Kung Fu.
It sounds very generic.
Victor Lucas, what'd you think?
This is a company that tries different ideas, and Johnny Kung Fu is totally bizarre. It's kind of a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but it borrows from all kinds of video game staples of the past. One of them is the old Game & Watch kind of vibe that Nintendo created in its first foray into portable gaming back in the 80s.
That's right.
They've got a Johnny Kung Fu kind of variant there, which is kind of cool. And basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to save the damsel in distress. How boring.
Yeah, your lady has been kidnapped.
Yeah, and you're riding up inside of this apartment building, kind of like the Raid Redemption, I guess, and you got a whole bunch of dudes to beat up to get to your lady, and you've got an hour to do it in, and each floor represents a new take on the game designer, on the way that you're going to play through the level.
And every time you lose in the game, you lose time.
Yeah.
And so you're always fighting against time, and once the time runs out, it's all the way back to level 1.
Yes.
And you start the whole damn thing all over again. Now, I was never a huge fan of the Game & Watch. I understand in the rearview mirror they're important, that we need to celebrate and remember where gaming has its roots, but these games are not fun to play.
Game & Watch came out at the same time as arcades were proliferate and doing so well, and you'd go to the arcade and it was like IMAX and a black and white TV.
So what happens is the Game & Watch levels are kind of a blight on the game, and then you get into the beat-em-up side-scrolling levels, and those turn out to be boring as well. The one cool thing you have is by pressing the R trigger, you can bounce deeper into the background and bounce back out again. If you wait in the foreground, the bad guys will eventually come to you, and then each level is punctuated by a boss, and each of those boss fights, it's kind of a cool concept, but they feel long and boring. It takes forever to beat these damn bosses, and I don't know why. I'm just chipping away at his health. I'm doing the same combo over and over again. Finally, he goes down, you get shuttled off to another floor, you play a Game & Watch level, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and it could have been more like a WarioWare mix and mash type of experience.
Thinking of Retro Game Challenge from 2009, which was an awesome game. And if you haven't picked it up, it's for the regular DS. And that really, what it did is that celebrated the history of games. Here you just feel like it's channel surfing between eras, and it doesn't really work.
You know what, though? It's not very much money, and I have to say that the curation on the eShop is unbelievable. I think they're making very interesting choices on the games that do bubble up that we do see as new arrivals and things. I think just the fact that this exists and that it's trying to reincorporate and reinterpret Game & Watch type design into a modern game, a 3D game as well. It's pretty damn impressive, and I applaud the development of this sucker.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I give these guys all the credit in the world for trying this, but it doesn't work.
What are you going to give Johnny Kung Fu?
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
It's going to get a 7 from me.